listening to The Review on the OSG Sports Podcasting Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Review. It's the Online Sports Guys College Football Podcast featuring us, the Online Sports Guys. And guys, there's lots of college football to talk about as the season kind of winds down to a close.
Bite your tongue, sir.
We know who's going to be playing for the college football championship. We'll take a look back here at the semifinal games, what happened, why it happened, and what it all means. We'll preview the championship game, and we'll talk a little bit about new face or old faces showing up in new places as the transfer portal list of transfers grows. Guys, we'll go ahead and start off with the semifinal games. Some crazy good stuff, particularly in the first game. Ole Miss and Miami was one hell of a good game. Yes, I know. You have to talk about it. Miami won the game, but, man, Ole Miss put up a good fight.
I'm going to defer for the moment.
The strategy was really interesting right from the jump, with Miami trying to keep the Ole Miss offense off the field as much as possible.
And they did it for the first half.
Yeah.
Clock.
But I think that game had everything you would want in a semifinal playoff game. I don't see anyone could complain except for John.
That might have been more entertaining than what the final's going to be.
It could be. It could be. Miami's defense, though, was tough. They really gave Ole Miss some fits, but Trinidad Chambliss for Ole Miss, shout out to him for playing one hell of a tough game. We've talked about this numerous times on the show, that he just literally came out of nowhere. And I know that makes John cringe because he thinks Ferris State is known nationwide. It's not. But for a guy who wasn't even the starting quarterback for the team, I'm just completely impressed by what he has done, what he did, and what he accomplished this season. And the other thing I was impressed with really well with Ole Miss is Pete Golding stepping into a crazy situation with the coaching there and getting some success out of it early.
With Trinidad Chambliss, I hate that I'm actually having to go back and reference the previous coach at Ole Miss, but early in the season, he was asked about his quarterback situation, and he says, mentioning his starting quarterback at the time, he says, "Yeah, I mean, right now, but you should see our backup quarterback." And this was this was late August that he was saying these kinds of things, and so the word was kind of trickling out already in Oxford that, hey, the backup might even be better than the starter, and it turned out to be that way. Starting September 3rd, I think that was when Trinidad had his first appearance as a quarterback for Ole Miss. And as we continue to say, if you find a quarterback, regardless of where you find him, and I think that this is once again the lesson that we will continue to pound here on the show. If you find a quarterback that has the skill set that you are looking for, that will make your system better, that will make your offense better, that will make your team better, it should not matter what the zip code is. It should not matter how many Roman numerals are off to the side of the NCAAD Twitter account that is attached to it. You find a guy, he's going to work in your system, and we've seen that all season long with Trinidad Chambliss. The fact that he comes from a Division II championship pedigree should have been for folks who are looking at the group of the gang of four. Oh, okay, he's a championship quarterback. Yeah, it was Division II, but he's still a championship quarterback, and he navigated that program, which has been lights out in Division II. That should be the bellwether here. It's like, look, you find a guy, meet your system, you get successful. In this case, it's Trinidad Chambliss. So if you are a Division I head football coach, Tallahassee, Auburn, find these guys. It's if you look, you know where you're looking. If you know where to look, you'll find the guys. And Ole Miss did exactly that.
Indiana's an entire team of that right now.
Yeah, and we'll talk about them in a minute. Um,
Booyah!
Jamos finished the game 23 for 37, 277, and a touchdown, and that's through the air. He also ran for 7 yards, which isn't that much. Um, but I was really impressed with Ole Miss's offense. Kewan Lacey getting hurt on that long touchdown run, I think hurt them in the end. And Miami did what they had to do. Mark Fletcher running for 133 yards. Good game for him.
Boo!
And Carson Beck,
Boo!
he say what you want. He managed the game for them.
I just wish they'd stop talking about him like he came out of somewhere. Like
He came out of
come
Ferris
out of
State.
nowhere.
He came out of nowhere, otherwise known
Oh, he came out of a Georgia and he's already got 2 championship rings.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the big game experience. And he didn't, to his credit, he didn't try to win the game, go into hero mode. He just let his guys do their thing. I mean, Fletcher was great. Keelan Marion, 7 catches, 114 yards, and a touchdown for Miami. He was wide open on that touchdown pass on a blown coverage.
My only worry with Miami is they've had a habit, especially the last 2 games, of putting the ball on the deck, and they've gotten lucky with it coming back to them. But that's going to bite them soon.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very much so.
I think honestly, Sly, I think that if Carson Beck was going to freelance, Mario Cristobal would have squashed him.
Nope, they had a legit game plan that didn't need him to freelance. And Malachi Tony is really, I mean,
He's that
I
dude.
think as a freshman, he might be one of the best receivers in the country.
He's a heck of a
and here
player.
and he made a point to upclass himself. He's supposed to be a high school senior.
Yeah.
And you're seeing Malachi Tony do the things that he's doing, albeit in the wrong colored jersey. You're seeing what he's doing as a high school senior age player, and so he's already playing grown-up Division I football when he should have been a year away.
And he's playing at a pretty darn high level too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, despite the color of his jersey, yes.
Yeah, we don't hold that against him.
Yes, we do.
You do.
Yes, we do. Yeah, well, that's y'all. That's y'all's issue. Y'all's problem. We will welcome you to that side of the aisle if you wish to go that way.
And the Hurricanes are going to have to play mistake-free football if they want to win a championship because they are going up against the only thing I could describe them as is a machine, and that's the Indiana Hoosiers.
They got a robot for a coach.
Yeah, but that robot made one of the greatest quotes of all time at the end of the game when he asked about what he's going to look ahead to. I think I'm going to crack open a beer.
We got to get him.
I don't want to like him, but I like him.
Yeah,
it's hard not to.
We got to get him together with Sam Pittman. That's what you got to do. You got to have those 2 guys sit together and have some cold beers.
Kurt Cignetti is the absolute stoic on the sideline, but
I want him drinking with Ogeron.
Oh God!
I would buy every round just to witness it. It might put me in a poorhouse and make me work till I'm 80, but it'd be worth it.
You're going broke on that one. I mean,
you're gold.
But the thing is that he is there to coach,
and
that's it. He's there to do his job well. And until the 60 minutes are up, regardless of what the score is, he's going to continue coaching. Smiles are not allowed. The game is not over.
There was one point I think the Hoosiers had a penalty and they showed a cutaway shot of Cignetti and it looked like he was literally staring into the camera shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we all know about that red light. That red light comes on, you're instantly attracted to it, and Cignetti knows. He knows where it is. He knows all the eyes are on him. So it's but yeah, no smiles allowed until the 20th of January if the mission is complete.
Yeah, I read an interesting article this week from one of his former players. talking about him, and all he kept talking about was what you see is what you get. It's not an act. And he's all business on the field, but he does care for his players and he does listen to what they say.
I mean, here's a guy who, regardless of where he has been as a coach, he has the same easy chair. He has the same recliner, and it has been with him for 780 years. He has had this. It's almost to the point now. For those of you that used to watch the TV show Frasier, it's almost like Frasier's dad's recliner. It's been that long. It's been retooled that many times, and that's his recliner. So it drives his wife crazy that he still has this recliner, but that's a part of who he is. It's like, no, this is me, and this is the kind of guy that I am. This is what I'm sitting in. This is what I enjoy sitting in. And his wife's kind of sitting there and she, can we get a new recliner? Can we get a new chair? And he's like, no. And I think they're trying to move into a new house. And I think that recliner's future is somewhat in flux, but I'm guessing that.
Oh, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that Cignetti's it's going to be like in some bottom floored coach's office kind of a thing. It will not be front and center like Martin Crane's recliner was, but that's just who Cignetti is. He is a man of habits. He is a man of this is who I am, and you can take it or leave it, and I'm here to do a job, and I'm here to do it well, and take it or leave it. And if I give you a 7-second soundbite, then you better come up with a third question.
And for those of you wondering, the reason we're talking about him like we are, if you didn't see it, the Indiana Hoosiers absolutely dismantled the Oregon Ducks, plucking all of the feathers off of them, so to speak, in a game that was pretty much over on the first play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They deserve to lose just because of those helmets. Those are awful.
The first play of the game, Dante Moore throws a pick six, and that was pretty much it. Indiana never let their foot off of the throttle. They just kept playing. And Fernando Mendoza, their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, second game in a row where he has more touchdowns than incompletions. How does that happen? 17 for 20, $177, and 5 touchdown passes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sly, how does this happen?
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch all year because going into the season, the Illinois-Indiana game was supposed to be competitive, and 63-10 later, I saw exactly what Indiana can do to you if you're not ready to go. And it doesn't matter who the opponent is. If you're not ready for them, they'll just put a methodical destruction on Illinois, Alabama, Oregon. They don't care. They're going to execute at a high level. Some of the throws that Mendoza made, I mean, pinpoint. I mean, to just
But that shoulder throws in the first quarter were just unbelievable.
Yeah, we'll get to the preview later, but something just occurred to me on this call. I don't know why it took this long, but for Indiana overall as for their athletic programs, that they've had the Bob Knight thing sort of hovering over them for so long. I mean, he had the perfect season in 76, I guess. 50 years later, they finally have something else. And so I think it's really, that's why I don't think he should go anywhere else, because they could build a statue for him in the offseason.
He is going anywhere else.
No, he shouldn't. And any talk of that should be completely shot down, because he could live the greatest life.
They got some money coming in.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the perfect situation now, and Indiana can move on from there. Ugly past.
I mean, don't forget they're a Shark Tank benefactor. They got Cuban as one of their most famous alums, and he's not been shy about helping out.
Cignetti will forever have the greatest quote of all time by a college football coach. I win. Google me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They are the college football version of the Terminator. They don't, what is it? They don't feel pity or remorse. They absolutely will not stop. And so I guess that means that Signetti is the college football version of Arnold Schwarzenegger right now. But yeah, I mean, it is to see this steamroller in its unique form of it having an interlocking IU on a helmet. For me, it's refreshing to see somebody different in the mix, to see someone like a Kurt Signetti, who is a coach that doesn't take any ish from anybody and really doesn't care what you think, and he doesn't care twice on Tuesdays. And he's going to do his thing. He's going to operate the way that he operates. He kind of puts up with us, and he goes out there, and it is an anticipated performance of all of his players to have them as ready as humanly possible. Then they go out there, and you end up with 35-7 at the break. And it's just, you just sit there and sad touchdown turns into sad field goal in the third quarter. And you're just kind of sitting here going, man, and it's fun to watch somebody different do all of this damage across the landscape in college football. At least it is.
I mean, the only thing that wasn't difference was Oregon getting pants in a bowl game.
Yeah, second year in a row.
They're sitting there going, you knew he was having some Rose Bowl, just PTSD flashbacks and the shakes on the sideline.
I mean, look, there was the one moment in the game, and this obviously leads into the second segment when we get there. But so D'Angelo Pons does what he does on defense. And then all of a sudden you end up with a flanker screen with D'Angelo Pons, and I think it was in the second quarter. And it's like, okay, that wasn't in the playbook, but that also gives Mario Cristobal something he has to think about next time around. So it's just, you put that little wrinkle out there with your starting corner, putting him on offense and turning him into a two-way player. That's just those added little quirks that you look into. You sit there, now you got to think about this too. And I'm sure that everybody in Miami's going, man, we got to do that now. We saw that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Saw a couple things that I've never actually seen before happen in a college football game. One of those being Dante Moore running the pistol, and his running back getting so close that he goes back to try to pass the ball, hits the running back, the ball bounces up in the air. I've never ever seen that happen.
Pacing, brother. That is either a running back that was spaced too closely when it came to being in a set position, or a quarterback that lost knowledge of where everybody was around him. It looked like a straight drop from Dante Moore, but it looked like the running back was spaced incorrectly or was taking the wrong first step, and then you end up with Moore going backward and hitting the running back on the follow through. But no, the only thing missing on that particular play might have been the Benny Hill music, or yakety sax.
I was having flashbacks of the Three Stooges, Three Little Pigskins.
It's just,
really is the running back.
Miami and Indiana certainly have. Indiana didn't necessarily need the help, but they benefited from their opponents the past couple of weeks. Having coaching instability and being sort of disorganized. You could tell, we talked last week of Ohio State's offense was disorganized with Brian Hartline not there. And Oregon, with their coordinators both leaving, they didn't look like they were completely prepared for what was about to each other. Yeah, so but Miami and Indiana had total stability within their staffs. So that could be a thing going forward.
Like, oh my God, stability! This is what happens when all of your coaches stay, and there's no chaos.
I will say, kudos to the staff at Oregon. One of the assistants got the football from D'Angelo Pons' touchdown from his pick six, held on to it for the entire game, and after the game, while everybody was on the field with all the chaos going on, went and found Pons and gave him the ball.
Yep, very classy.
Yeah, that was classy.
Very classy.
Exact opposite of what we saw earlier in the year with people getting into it with the ball boy.
Yeah. I give them a harump.
No, we don't have as many games to talk about, so I was just, do you think Indiana's gonna be able to sustain this? Like we've seen now with the portal being open, players wanting to get paid. Do you think Indiana's gonna have a hard time once their window opens after the playoffs?
Nope, because they've already signed some players. They've got
Yeah,
Jeff. They've got Jeff.
they sign new players, and I'm talking about what they have currently because you got the whole thing with you got players talking to players, you got uncle agents, you got parents talking to other parents. Like, is that going to come in and wreak havoc with that roster? You think?
Well, I mean, if you think about it at its most base idea, athletic scholarships are 1 year renewable contracts anyway. So I think that when you have the current setup being what it is, you're going to have people coming and going anyway. Now we're just discussing it with the higher talents that are going to be your skill position players. I don't think the money is going to be an issue, and it's a point that was brought up earlier because when you have, when I mean, Marty, look, you mentioned Shark Tank money.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to be an issue with someone like Mark Cuban, who's going to see what this means to the university. Mark Cuban is above all else, he's a businessman, and he's a very successful businessman. So he knows what it takes to run businesses well, and he understands where the landscape changes. And I would imagine, as both an alum and a businessman who's delved into sports, he knows what is changing on the college level. And so to have that kind of guidance and be the finances, I think that it will help keeping the talent there. I think it will also help bringing the talent in. It's just going to be up to the coaching staff. And now Cignetti's got got the new 7-year deal, I think is what it was.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's going to be coaching in theory till he's 70 at the university at IU. So you imagine the continuity is going to be there. You figure the financials will be there. So it's going to be up to that staff to stay as constant as possible. I think that's going to be the issue, is more the staff than it will be the players and how you navigate that aspect of it, because you're going to be coaching all of these new kids every single year.
Yeah, and I think with the way his system is set up and the type of players that he is recruiting, they're looking for a certain type of player. They're not looking for the guy who is just looking for the bigger payday. They're looking for a kid that's there and willing to work, do the work, and be part of a team that can be something special if everybody pulls together, not mercenaries.
Yeah, but your average person, somebody offers you 20% more than you're getting at your current place of employment. What are you going to do?
True. I know, but at the same time, and that's the rub these days. It's, do you want the 20% raise in your paycheck, or do you want to win a championship, knowing that if you win that championship, odds are, if you're a skill position player, that you could be making that much more money.
Yeah.
You get your
You're going to get paid
contract.
either way.
So it's like, do you want the money? Literally, this is almost like this is like Pony Excess, except that it's now, up front with everybody. We're gonna, I'm gonna get you ready for the pros. I'm not gonna get you ready for college. I'm getting you ready for the pros, and you'll be rewarded properly in that regard. So no, you're getting them ready for the next level, and that's the gauge here. It's like, yes, you're getting paid when you walk in the door, but I'm also going to prep you for the next level where you're going to be making a boatload more money.
But in the non-premier positions, not non-skill positions, some of these guys are making more in college than they can make if they went pro.
Oh yeah.
Like you could get more as a tackle in college than you could in the pros because you're not going to get drafted high.
Oh yeah, they're quarterbacks right now in college football who are making more money than NFL quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, look at Chambliss. He's trying to get his
Yeah, but it's under appeal. Yeah,
they got to get it together.
There's at least a couple of episodes of the show that we could delve into that topic and why it's so messed up. And we're living in wild, wild west times.
Carson Beck's damn near 30. He's older. Is he older than his position coach? I'm not even sure.
Probably at this rate.
You could do a whole show on the Damon Williams, Sam Levitt, LSU.
that might
stuff.
I've been hearing stuff where that might actually come back on Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I read that same article. That could explode in Lane Kiffin's face really quickly.
That would be amazing.
Yes, it would.
Oh, Just don't do that kind of announcement the same day that the school that you're currently attending is having a memorial for a soccer player that was well loved and who had recently passed. Work on the timing with your agents, sir.
Yeah, they read the room a little bit.
Oh yeah, that did not happen in that case. That was poorly timed.
Yeah, and we mentioned something about mercenary college football players before. There's your example of it.
Yeah.
There are plenty of guys who are going for the higher paydays. There are also a lot of guys who have already made their decision and moved to different schools. Several teams have their quarterbacks. Indiana has their replacement for Mendoza already lined up and ready to go.
They still got another Mendoza on the roster.
Yes, they
Mhm.
do. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with him.
Oh yeah.
Penn State may be able to have a return to prominence with what Iowa State's brought over.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, Penn State is Iowa State, has become Iowa State East in a month.
And that is something that I think that college football fans need to keep an eye on, is that when you have coaches who go from place to place because of the landscape being what it is, how many players from the coach's previous gig are coming with them, so you have that continuity of terminology, of offense, and those kinds of.
Same thing happened with North Texas State coach Eric Morris moving to Oklahoma State.
yeah.
Half his team followed him there.
The Oklahoma State Mean Green.
Go. Let's see. So GMOSG. All right. Go mean Oklahoma State Green. Something like it's like GMOSG or something like that.
Yeah, you're
I was trying to, because it's GMG in Denton. I was trying to figure out what go GMG North. I don't know.
It's North Texas.
Yes, it is the north.
Northern North Texas.
It's northern North Texas, otherwise known as Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Yeah,
I'm just interested to see what North Texas can do after what they can scrounge up.
Yeah,
what they have left, because really, and without getting too deep into it, that's really what some of those teams like North Texas and in the group of six have become, and that's basically just AAA schools for
your feeder system. Yeah, absolutely.
For the big boys. But speaking of the big boys, when we come back in the second half of the show, guys, we will talk about that championship game, Miami and Indiana. That and more when we return for the second half of the review. You are listening to The Review on the OSG Sports Podcasting Network.
Please like and subscribe.
Over here in the OSG Sports side of things, we talk football. FOOTBALL. College football version here with the College Football Review every single week. But for those of you that like not just football with two O's, but football with a U, FUTBOL, there's the Soccer Down Here Network. I'm John Nelson. I host the morning show on Soccer Down Here along with Jarrett Smith, Nick Alifi, Jason Longshore. And if you're looking for the best information when it comes to the world of soccer, based in the southeastern United States, but we don't leave anything off the table. 9:05 Eastern time until 11 whenever. Sometimes we go for a while. SDH Network morning show, soccer's morning show, Monday through Friday, plus all the live events we do. It is your place and your source for soccer that is based in the Southeast, but covers everything on the world. SoccerDownHere.net, the Soccer Down Here app, available iOS and Android, through our friends at Spreaker. That's like speaker with an R in the middle. Spreaker, do a search for OSG Sports, do a search for Soccer Down Here. All the soccer content all in one place. It is the SDH Network and Soccer Down Here.
Thanks for sticking around, everybody. You have made it to the second half of the show. Guys, we talked a lot about the semifinals and a few other odds and ends in the first half of the show. We promised we would talk championship game, and that is exactly what we're going to do. Miami and Indiana. Does Miami have a chance?
No.
It's
Not if they keep
interesting
dropping the ball.
that it's interesting that a little over 40 years ago, you had an almost invincible team in red go down to Miami to play the Hurricanes for a title, but this is not the Orange Bowl, and they don't have the same sort of ghosts that they did in that place. And Howard Schnellenberger isn't there either. So even though there's some parallels, I cannot see Miami pulling this one off at that stadium.
Yeah, I guess my first question besides that would be, even though this game is technically it's a home game for the Hurricanes, is that even going to matter?
No.
What are those tickets
I-
going for right now?
32.40 was the last time of the get in.
Oof.
Yeah, you saw what Indiana brought to Atlanta for the
Yeah.
bowl game,
Yeah.
which was a
Miami
packed
fans
house.
don't show up when the tickets are $30. They are not showing up for 100 times that.
Mm-mm.
And does it hurt the fact, would it make a difference if that game was being played on a campus stadium for Miami, if they had a stadium in Coral Gables and were playing there?
No.
It's half the reason I'm rooting against them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, the get-in price has increased to $32.83. And there are tickets available at the 50 and the lower level that are 5 figures.
Oh,
Lower level center of the mall.
Uh-huh. I mean, in Indiana, 7.5, 48.5 right now.
I think this game you might need to take the over.
Yeah, because I think that IU, if IU goes from pillar to post, they're going to put up a number. They're going to prove a point. So I think that 48.5, that might be an easy play.
They're
yeah,
looking
Miami
to
has
more
some
than
injury
win.
concerns,
Yeah, they do.
and I don't know how they're going to run on Indiana, which just sort of help. I don't know what they're going to do, frankly.
I mean, Oregon had a little bit of success running the ball in the second half.
Right.
And they weren't exactly deep at running back for the game.
No, they were playing their fourth and fifth string guy
Yeah.
because
Converted
everybody else was
defensive
hurt.
backs.
Look, you had success when it was 35-7, and when Oregon scored in the third quarter, I imagine that Signetti is probably sitting there and plotting all the stadiums and up downs for letting, I don't care who was out there on the field. It's like, y'all gave up yards, you gave up points, then you're running stairs. I mean, that's
And Mark Fletcher for Miami is a pretty good running back. It's not like he's chopped liver or a fourth team guy. He's legit. And if Miami gets any kind of run blocking at all, he could have some success. Which is not to say that they're going to win the game, but he could at least move the ball. And Shannon Dawson likes to run those jet sweeps with Malachi Tony.
good luck running side to side, and I mean, what we saw in the third and fourth quarter though with Tony, you saw where Miami was, you saw Ole Miss dropping back into basically umbrella coverage, and that left the middle of the field open for Tony, and you saw a lot of flanker screens. You saw a lot of stuff in the middle with the wide receivers. I don't know if that's going to be available for them considering game state at the time. So I think that the test for me is going to be the trust that the Indiana defensive coaching staff has with their defensive backs going man coverage. Are they going to go man on the wide receivers, or are they going to try and just sit there and once again let everything happen in front of them? And when you get to the 20 or the 25 or the 20 or so, then that's when everything condenses and they're not going to be able to get anything going in the middle of the field. They're going to try to go wide. Speed's going to get them wide. So I don't know. You're probably going to see a lot of yards and a lot of activity from Miami between the 20s. But if they get to the Indiana 20, I think that's when it shuts down.
Guys, do you think that ball control is going to be a key here? Does Miami try to do what they did against Ole Miss and keep the ball out of Indiana's hands?
Maybe I think about what John Nelson said last week about making Carson Beck think.
Yeah.
And certainly Indiana's going to do that.
Yeah. And
I mean, if you
if you can't run the ball on the team, how are you going to control the clock?
Yeah, and so That for me is it's if you can get pressure with 4 and keep Carson Beck contained. I feel like we should play last week on repeat. Literally, if you keep Carson Beck contained and you're confident in the 7 that you drop, and make sure that that the only thing available to him is the safety valve, the option, the little dink and dunk stuff, the third and fourth options. It's going to be a long day. So I want to know: are you going to take Mark Fletcher and Shamar Brown away and force Carson Beck to pass against that secondary? What are you going to do? That to me is the larger question here with this chess match with Miami's offense. Look, if it's me, I'm saying bring the house and be the Terminator. Look, just don't feel remorse or pity, and it absolutely will not stop. Literally, just smash them, and I'll be a happy man. That's all I want. That's all I want. I just want Candy Striper Pants to just smash the ever-loving daylights out of the University of Coral Gables and those low-down dirty cheaters. That's all I want. I'm not asking for much.
And the flip side of the question that I asked earlier, though, without going into opinion there about the individual school, can Miami's defense contain Indiana? Miami's defense is pretty stout. That defensive line has got a couple of guys that could be easily first-round draft picks in the upcoming draft. They get after the quarterback. Can they disrupt Indiana's offense with that offensive line?
Once Ole Miss got going, they didn't really disrupt them too much.
And I think that what Sly's talking about in the second half, when Ole Miss got into a rhythm, basically if they were hurrying up, or if they went straight up hurry up or went NASCAR, second half it was a problem for Miami. So I wouldn't be surprised if out of the gate you saw something where it was something of a hurry up, muddle, huddle.
Yeah, you do that from the get-go, because Ohio State also did that, but they waited too long to start doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way to neutralize it.
Right.
Indiana's probably going to be doing that from the get-go, and it's going to be trouble.
This season, if I'm reading correctly, Indiana has only allowed 22 sacks all season long. 22 sacks. That is divided by
in 15 games.
Yeah, so divided, 15 into 22, that's roughly a sack and a half. So that means that Fernando Mendoza is getting rid of the ball, he's finding targets, and he's not taking stupid stuff. So if this stays the way that it goes, then on 379 passing attempts, they've only allowed 22 sacks. I'll give the sack and a half. That's fine. 1, maybe 2, but I don't think that it's going to be something that's going to be a pain in the ass for Indiana to deal with.
And by the way, did you guys watch Mendoza when he scrambled a couple times? He looked like one of those guys on ice skates with the speed, getting his feet wound up, and then he ran.
So he's like the Roadrunners, is what you're saying? Yeah. Or Fred Flintstone,
like a toy car.
Yes, yeah. You call him Matchbox Mendoza.
You could.
Loop-de-loop.
Is there a prop bet out there for how many former Hurricane players are going to be on the sideline?
I'm sure there is, Sly. I'm sure somebody off of the Bimini coast is going to come up with
There's
something.
one for every 10 fans in the stands.
Yeah.
One for every 10 Miami. Okay. So I'm going to use my first timeout. There was a moment involving the last touchdown where the quarterback for the lowdown dirty cheaters at the University of Coral Gables scrambles out of the pocket and scored, damn it. And
the game winner?
Whatever, however you want to phrase it.
The game winner.
Sure, fine, whatever. I don't care. And for those of us who have worked in television, there are entities that pay a boatload of money to have the right to broadcast these games, which means that they have a boatload of personnel on the sidelines to do their job, do it well, and give us the pictures that we're looking for when we're watching from home or wherever we're watching.
On their multicasts.
Yeah. So in this particular moment, traditionally, there are a lot of cameras in a very, very short amount of space that are attached to the rights holder. And one of those cameras traditionally is positioned right on the goal line on either side. You've got your reverse and you have your sideline camera, and the guy is right there at the goal line. You've got the other guys that are in the end zone, etc. So there is a goal line camera for the network that is broadcasting this game. Guy's got his shot. He's in position.
The name of which has 4 letters in it.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Use plural rights holders. There's only one place broadcasting of the playoff games.
So then you have so this particular network, they have their goal line cameraman, and he is right there. He's ready to see whatever happens if it comes his way. So if you're watching, it's coming toward you. Guy's right there at the goal line. As this event is happening with this quarterback for the Lowdown Dirty Cheaters,
scoring the game-winning touchdown.
Sure, fine, whatever you want to call it. And he crosses the goal line
to win the game.
Sure, fine, whatever you want to call it. There's a particular individual for that university who decided that he wanted to celebrate that particular event happening, and he steps in front of that camera while the guy is trying to get that shot.
Because he knew they won the game.
What? Sure, fine, whatever you want to call it. And for that particular individual who has worked in television before, to have that lack of awareness to celebrate that particular moment,
that won the game.
Sure, fine, whatever you want to call it.
Who is that individual?
Playmaker.
Also known as Michael Irvin, who has worked for every TV network in existence at least once.
Yeah. So I thought that I would have liked for Playmaker to have read the room and understand that there's someone there trying to do his job, and don't celebrate in front of that camera and block the guy's shot, which happens to be that particular event at the end of a football game.
Winning the game.
Don't steal the iconic image of one of your players.
I about lost my mind. Because you're
because Miami won the game?
No. Sure, fine, whatever you call it. No, but
John, are you getting cold? Or is it just cold in here?
The lack of awareness for someone trying to do their job and get that shot, and you felt compelled to, in your excitement, instead of be excited and have a lot of room behind you and be on the sidelines, you wanted to step in front of that camera, block the guy's shot for getting that particular thing from happening at the tail end of the game. So they have to rely on other angles to show what's going on, because you decided you wanted to hop out onto the field, wave your towel, wave your belt, whatever, and stand in front of the guy. Literally, it's like
Playmaker doesn't care about ESPN.
It's like trying to do our job like that.
You got to remember former player, former broadcaster.
Yes.
Multiple former broadcaster.
Yeah, he's been fired by most every network.
Sound judgment. He's been fired by some of the best broadcasters in this country.
Yeah. He doesn't
Sound
care
judgment might not be part of his playbook.
I'm pretty sure the Playmaker doesn't care about ESPN's camera.
No, but at the same
I just feel bad for the kid not having that iconic picture of him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, literally.
Someone tells me there was a still photo of it that probably exists that looks great.
Yeah, it still's got Irvin's shoulder in it, or a towel,
or just it's a straight
and a belt.
Yeah,
because he won the game on that running play.
Sure, fine, whatever you want to call it. That's fine. But no, just the lack of awareness for people trying to do their job. That stuck with me in that particular moment. So there you go. That's my soapbox. All right. Timeout's over. I'm done with my timeout. Sorry, it was more like that than it was this. But anyway, there you go. Okay. I said my piece.
I just want to see what the Michael Irvin prop bets are.
Oh, yes, because he's going to be on the sidelines, and along with Ray Lewis.
That's fine.
Trying to think of some other guys that might be there.
Edgerrin James was there, but you might not remember because he didn't make an ass out of himself.
I mean,
he was calm, collected, and classy.
Because he's an adult?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust me. Russell Maryland might be there. Sapp might be there. Just think of any big name. They'll be there. Trust me. I'm sure that Jimmy Johnson.
Blades, Perriman.
Yeah. Thanks for the
Searcy, a ton of them.
Thanks, I know Sly. A couple that won't be there.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, thank you, Sly, for those reminders, especially the Blades brothers. I really appreciate it.
In the contrast with Indiana not having any NFL players on the sideline.
Lee Corso better be there, damn it.
That would be kind of cool. Card
Absolutely.
out the coach for that.
Bring him on to the pregame show for the 4-letter. Absolutely, you do.
They got to
Yeah.
at least have a remote from his house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, he better be there.
Yeah, that would be cool. For those of you who don't know, Corso was the head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers many, 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 many years ago.
He was the head coach of the Orlando Renegades of the USFL.
Hmm. And briefly, the coach of John's Florida State Seminoles as well.
Accurate, sir. Yes.
He's
The Northern Illinois Huskies.
See, look at this.
Yeah.
We busted out the entire Wikipedia page. Reggie Collier, the head coach, the starting quarterback for your Orlando Renegades.
Yeah, which is very real possibility. Guys, now that we've talked about the preview,
Yeah?
I think we know who we're all picking to win the game. It's just a question of what you think the score is going to be. And let's go round robin here.
Indiana by 1 billion. Next.
Indiana covers.
All right, 7.5. Sly.
34-17 Indiana.
Okay, so they both cover and take the over. Okay.
Yeah, 37-24 Indiana for me.
Yeah, I don't see. I think Miami scores negative 18 points.
But they won the semifinal.
Yeah, sure.
That's
fine,
not nothing.
Sure, fine. Whatever you want to call it. That's great. Fine.
Guys, before we wrap things up here, we talked a little bit in the first half of the show about some of the guys in the transfer portal.
Mhm.
Big name quarterback heading to Syracuse, John Fox.
Yeah, that's the OSG review podcast special, Kennesaw State to Syracuse. But I admittedly don't know a lot about it. Amari Odom. So anything you could tell me, I'm all ears.
When you surround him, see, now this is where we need Maddie. We need Maddie to come in here and talk about Amari Odom. So we'll see if we can get her in here next week in my absence. But Amari Odom had a lot of weapons, and I think that you give a lot of credit to Jerry Mack and that staff to best give Odom the weapons that he needs. I think it will be a step up, obviously, in class.
Yeah.
And
With the right offense, I think he could be really good.
yes. And so that's the key. I think that you are getting a solid talent, but a lot of it's going to depend on the weapons around him. And as long as you don't try to have him be in a system that is different than what it was at Kennesaw, but it was a lot of RPO, and you had speedy wide receivers on the edge, but you also had the H back, the X, the big matchup problem in the slot at times. So that's the key. Is
Don't ask him to be a drop back quarterback.
No, that's the thing. If they want him to be a drop back passer, that's going to be red flag number one. If you surround him with decent weapons and have him go RPO, then I think you'll be okay. It's going to be a growth curve. And for him to get adjusted to life in the All-America Coast Conference, but I think that you've got a good one here, but you've got to surround him with weapons, and you can't take away from his skill set. I guess that's the short.
Is he bringing anybody with him?
That's I haven't heard yet. Don't know that yet, but no.
Because if it's just for keeping the kids' comfort level up, you might want to.
That's the thing.
It's probably pretty easy to grab one of those receivers.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's find out if anybody can come with or anything like that from Syracuse. But yeah, comfort level is going to be big for Amari Odom. It might take him a little bit to get adjusted.
And again, that feeder system of the group of 6 teams feeding the Power 4 comes into play here. I want to mention another interesting note because I just saw this morning. New quarterback at my alma mater, Georgia Southern, Max Johnson.
Isn't he like 41 years old?
I was going to say the oft-traveled Max Johnson, who's started at
He's
LSU.
part of the all-name team.
Started at LSU, went to Texas A&M, went to North Carolina. His leg was nearly destroyed during a sack at North Carolina 2 years ago, and he's trying to make his comeback in Statesboro with the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean once again.
If I get that jersey, I'm getting the full name on the back.
Yeah, So, I mean, it's same that we were talking about with Amari Odom. I know that it's easy to sit there and say, okay, well, who's had more schools, TJ Finley or Max Johnson? I mean, that's low-hanging fruit. But, I mean, if Max is looking to go to a place where he can start and get some decent numbers and get a resume together to see if anybody at the next level will take a peek at him, I think that this is an opportunity for him to do it. He's closer to home, and he's also away from those power fours where he can try to get some stuff done in the Fun Belt. So no, it's a solid idea, and like I said, he's close to home for year number 6, I think.
Yep, it would be year number 6. And for those of you who don't know, Max is former Florida State quarterback Brad Johnson's kid.
Right, at Black Mountain, North Carolina, Brad Johnson, yes.
I like the move.
And Mark Richt.
Sorry.
No, Mark Richt adjacent. Yeah, go ahead, Sly.
The quick whip around for the people on this show. I don't think it's a coincidence that Ashton Daniels has not been mentioned yet, Florida State, but Illinois is picked up Caton Hauser, who was at East Carolina and previously Michigan State, to be their 1-year bridge.
I'll throw my random name out there. Conlon Green transferring from Temple to Youngstown State. Long snapper and D lineman, but the only reason I'm mentioning him because he's my cousin.
Goes down a level too.
Yeah, but I don't want to get too specific, but his positional coach might have left something to be desired.
Yeah, it doesn't mean as for guys in those positions. I don't think it necessarily means as much because if you can play, you can play. Some interesting quarterback moves, though. Talk about Indiana. They've signed somebody who could potentially be Mendoza's replacement, in Josh Hoover, who played at TCU last year. The probably biggest name quarterback that went into the portal, Brendan Sorsby formerly of Cincinnati, is now going to be in Texas at Texas Tech. Former Iowa State quarterback Rocco Beck goes and follows Matt Campbell over east to Happy Valley to play for Penn State along with half of his team.
They sprinkled in a running back from Ohio State as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
They did lose a big D lineman, though.
Florida's DJ Lagway ends up at Baylor.
Oh, is that officially official?
I believe it is.
Okay, because there were pictures of DJ at a basketball game in Waco, and I did not know if that was officially official yet. But Dave Aranda needs a lot of help on offense, and we'll see if Lag Time actually gets the tools that he needs to do anything at Baylor.
Another interesting move, Cutter Boley, who played for Kentucky as a freshman this year, ends up going to Arizona State.
Yeah, Kenny Dillingham needs offense. No worries there.
Yeah, I like that move. Trying to look through here and see.
Look, we'll have more to talk about next week, brother. That's easy.
Yeah, Sam Levitt's still sitting out there. He should be an interesting decision once he makes one, where he ends up. He's got all the skills of an NFL quarterback, but the question is he going to go be someplace where he can make that next step? Probably the best non-quarterback out there in the portal who has not made a decision, Cam Coleman, a wide receiver from Auburn.
Oh, yeah.
Very interested to see where Mr. Coleman ends up.
Yeah, there's a discussion that it's going to be at another SEC school.
That would not surprise me at all.
It's like 92
just
portal from Auburn, by the way.
I'm just kind of looking down the list here. To the surprise of nobody, Byron Brown makes it official, going to Auburn.
Yep.
That had been kind of hinted at, suggested at, and was kind of a foregone conclusion. It's now official. He's a redshirt junior, 6'3", 231, with lots of playing time. It should be an interesting experiment there.
Yeah, he was a celebrity in at a recent SEC basketball game on campus, so you kind of knew it was going to be a done deal at that point. Also, his understudy at South Florida is portaling to Auburn as well, so this is a smart move by Alex Golesh, playing a little bit of Vulcan chess here, where you've got Byron Brown, then when Brown graduates or portals out or what have you, you've got his successor that was there as a freshman at South Florida, who's also now portaled over to Auburn. So you've got some, you have some offensive succession that's going to be there as well. And the leading receiver at USF last year is also apparently portaling that way. So what we talked about with Matt Campbell early on, we get to talk about with Russian spy Alex Golesh going to Auburn. That you're seeing the continuity. It's like how many players are coming from a coach's old gig to be a part of the new gig and the skill positions that are there. So you're seeing that with Matt Campbell. You're seeing it with Alex Golesh.
And one other interesting name sitting out there is Dylan Raiola, who's coming back from an injury and has been bounced around. As a sophomore, he's already got more schools than he has. He will have more schools than he has experience at this point.
Yeah. Dylan needs to go to a place where he can be. It needs to be a go six. He needs to go away from a power four. He needs to go to a go six. He needs to, much like we were talking about with Max Johnson. Dylan needs to go to a place where he can be basically left alone to develop. And having seen him in high school, you know that there's something there, and he just needs to be in a place where he's not going to go for a couple of seasons. He needs to get those college reps, and he's fairly much a drop back passer. So it's got to be the right fit for him to where his skill set can be taken advantage of the most. So for me, it's got to be a go six, and it's got to be a static drop back passer kind of environment.
And before we wrap things up, guys, we would be remiss in our duty if we didn't talk about the football championship subdivision championship game.
Damn right.
Montana State gets the win in an absolutely bonkers game with Illinois State in Nashville in front of a huge crowd.
4,000 plus game of the year.
Regardless of division, that was the best final.
Mm-hmm.
We had block kicks. We had all kinds of craziness happen. Montana State ends up winning in the very end of the game. Love to see that. Love to see the fact that there were that many people in the stands.
That was the best Monday Night Football game all year.
Yeah, and the thing with that particular game, and we've covered it the last handful of weeks on the X, and we got to kind of keep an eye out on that game. This week on the show, we catch up with Tom Wiley from Montana Sports and Scripps in Montana. He was there in Nashville. We catch up with Craig Birchie, the sideline reporter extraordinaire for Illinois State. And just the chaos of literally, if you take out the first 3.5 quarters, if you're to watch the game from, say, 5 minutes left in regulation to the end, it's still game of the year. But if you go from the beginning where it looks like Montana State's going to do the Horizon job, and then Illinois State comes back in, then you get the second half, then it's back and forth, and then just the chaos of literally the last, say, 45 minutes to an hour of real time, it was beyond insane. And to have that as a showcase in front of 24,000 folks that were crazy loud, it just speaks to what a lot of folks are missing out on. But we've been letting you know about these other divisions, and I think it was a great statement for what a lot of folks are missing out on by catching the last game of the year in 1AA. Taco Dowler, people. Literally a wide receiver named Taco.
Are they all name team?
You can't get that anyplace else.
The FCS playoffs were as good as you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
You had Brawl the Wild 2, you had all the upsets, you had incredible champion. That's exactly what people look for when they're watching sports, the way that tournament played out.
You end up in Division III with Caleb Blaha from Wisconsin River Falls, who is a national finalist for quarterback of the year, and taking Wisconsin River Falls to their first ever championship. 121-year program, and they've been awful. And they turned a corner, 5 or 6 years ago, and you're seeing what's going on here. The last minute win over Johns Hopkins, knocking off the big dog in North Central. So it's been fun looking at 1AA and D2 and D3 and NAIA and seeing how these champions evolve here. And a lot of the players that folks are missing out on, we're inviting them to our coffee klatch and s'mores cook, but we get to talk about them every single week.
Yeah. Say what you will, you still got to love college football, even if some levels it's become more of a mercenaries game.
Yeah.
Guys, what do you say we put a wrap on things? When we come back next week, we will kind of wrap up the season as we will know. Well, actually, we won't know.
We'll be closer to the game itself because it's on the 19th.
Yeah, because
We'll know
college
the
football.
portal results.
Yeah, we'll be portaling next. Y'all will be portaling.
Yeah.
I'll be in a
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, because college football never does things on a schedule that's convenient to anybody.
Or that involves logic.
Yes, that's it.
They've scheduled the championship game for a Monday night, which is, well, not the dumbest decision they've ever made. It's pretty much in the top three.
Which is saying something for a place known for that.
I don't know why they can't do this on a Sunday night or a
Well,
Saturday night.
you don't want to interfere with the Shield. You don't want to do that. So
Yeah, but it goes back to something that Dan Lanning said about the college football playoff. Why not just schedule it picking up right after the season instead of giving it the 3 weeks off? And then we don't have this conversation or worry about competing with the NFL.
Start the season earlier. That man spoke a lot of truth.
Well,
Just can't win a playoff game.
right now, it just means that we have more weeks to talk about stuff.
That is true. That is true. For the entire OSG Sports College football team, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great week. We will talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.
Please like and subscribe.